I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. Today the Spirit has me in a Deuteronomy chapter 32. It says, "Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass." And that doctrine is dropping like rain right now because you have the Hebrew Israelites teaching the Holy Scriptures, the men of Israel waking up to who they are and able to teach the true doctrine, all on one accord. And this doctrine drops as rain on all over the earth because there's, the Israelites are teaching all over the planet Earth. Verse 3, "Because I will publish the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, ascribe ye greatness unto our power Yahweh." So right there it says, "I will publish the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai." You see? So that's always going in on how important the name is, all right? And we have the name because he's manifested the name to the men who the Lord has given him. So let me grab that real quick. John 17, verse 6. The word manifested means to show, all right? So it says, I have manifested thy name, meaning I have shown thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. And see, so we're actually the ones keeping the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because not only do we have the name, but we're keeping the word. We're rehearsing the righteous acts. All right? Deuteronomy 32, verse 4. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment. A power of truth, Yahweh, power of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. So he's a power of truth and judgment, all right? And he's also a characteristic of the Most High is his balance. So there's iniquity, but there's also righteousness, you see? So he's gonna deal with the ones that that he's concerned with, which are the elect, the 1/3 of Israel. Verse 5, "They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation." See, so our people have went off, and they're still going off. They're into all these different false doctrines, worshiping false idols. So that's what makes us a perverse and crooked generation. But he's got a remnant which is going to repent as prophesied, and that's what you see with the Hebrew Israelites. Starting out with the elder apostles of GMS. "Do ye thus requite Yahweh, O foolish people and unwise?" So he calls our people foolish and unwise. And a foolish means non-believer. And why are our people foolish? Because they don't believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Instead, they have their own opinions. They have their own beliefs. Okay, so this is verse... what I was saying is the people are foolish, which means non-believers. Because they don't believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, they believe in Caesar Borgia, false image of Jesus Christ, or Buddha, or Krishna, or whatever false image that our people are involved in. This is what makes them foolish and unwise. Unwise, you see our people running to the vaccination, right? Not knowing that that's a direct violation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's laws, which is no cuttings in the flesh, But they'd rather listen to Esau Edom instead of listening to the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's what makes them unwise. Things like that. All right, so now I'm at verse 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. See? So it says, remember the days of old. So you can't say, oh, well, that was the biblical days, or though that was the times of the Bible. That doesn't apply to this day. No, we just read verse 7. Remember the days of old, meaning what? Remember the scriptures. Remember the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's laws. You see? Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. See? So, then the last line it says, ask the elders. I mean, what are you saying there's no elders out here anymore? No, we have elders of apostles of Great Millstone. So it's a stumbling block. Most people would look at our elders and say, oh, these guys are not the men of the Lord. When indeed they've been set up by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to be the leaders of Israel. You see? When do you have in the history of so-called blacks and Hispanics and Latinos, when have you ever seen them come together on one accord, and the Lord put a spirit on so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to read these scriptures the way we're studying intensely now? You know, you have a whole group of men teaching on YouTube, you know, starting out with our elders. Like it says, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. You know, and who did our elders get the truth from? They got it from their elders. You know, it was verse 8. When the Most High divided into the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. See, he divided the nations. So that shows you, if Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai divided the nations, then what makes you think unity and joining hands with all nations, all the heathen? Why would you want to join hands with the heathen, man? You're separate from them because what makes you separate are these laws that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has given you. You see? So that separates you. That gives you a standard. You know, when you have a godly standard, you're following the statutes and laws of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. When you have no standard, you don't have to follow any laws, right? Because there's no standard. There's no law. So, you know, that's what we do. We practice the righteous acts, you know, in Babylon, America. Let me get that. Judges 5:11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, all right, the noise of archers is the missiles. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai go down to the gates. All right? So we're practicing the righteous acts by, you know, coming back, remembering the old days like we just read. We're remembering the old day. We're remembering our power. We're remembering Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We're honoring, glorifying Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai by coming back to him. And so now it's a rehearsal, because this is the rehearsal for what? For the kingdom. In the kingdom, we're never going to go off. We'll never break a law. You know, in the kingdom, we're going to be righteous 100%. We go back to Deuteronomy. But right now, it's a rehearsal, you know. Deuteronomy 32, and we'll go to verse 9. This says, for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So this shows you, hey, Jacob is the inheritor. We are going to be the inheritors of the kingdom of heaven. You see? And by the same token, we are going to inherit the heathen, meaning they're going to be our slaves. All right, let's get that in Psalms. Because we're going to inherit the heathen, as you know, they're going to be under us. They're going to be subjects unto us. Just like In all these captivities, we've been subjects unto the heathen. Well, now it's Israel's turn, which is going to be everlasting, eternal rulership and dominion over the heathen nations. This is Psalms 2 and verse, I think it's 8. Yep. Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So the uttermost parts means all the earth, all the planet earth. That's gonna be the Israelites, and the heathen are gonna be an inheritance, meaning they're gonna be slaves, Right now we're their inheritance, the Rothschilds, the elite, the super elite. We're their slaves, Like we always say, if you have a social security number, that's how you know you're a slave. Because why? Because your master can keep track of you. Everything you do, He keeps track of your credit. He keeps track of your driver's license. He keeps track of everything you do. That's why they want to go to the microchip. Because it's going to be like a 24/7 ball and chain, you see? And that's why they have that Bitcoin, which you're going to put your money on the Bitcoin. That whole system, it's called, the name of the database that for the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency that's going to be the money on your microchip. The name of that database that holds that information is called block and chain. You don't believe me? Go look it up. And block and chain is symbolic for slavery, all right? You're a slave, man. Block and chain. That's how they're going to hold you down, tie you down with that mark of the beast, that microchip. You see? Right now, they're just giving you their stimulus checks, getting you to the point where you get used to a stimulus. And then pretty soon, they're going to say, all right, you want your stimulus, you're going to have to take this microchip. And how many Jakes are going to be able to tell them no at that point? Because they're going to depend on that. But the men of the Lord are going to depend on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You ain't never read a scripture saying that the prophets of the Lord are going to have starved to death. Not one prophet ever starved to death. You see? We're going to eat, brothers. We're going to eat even when we don't take that microchip. This is Deuteronomy 32 and verse 10. He found him in a desert land and in waste, howling wilderness, and he led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. All right, so this is talking about the Israelites, because we're looked at as the apple of the Lord's eye. If you are fond of something, or if you admire something, you may admire your woman, and she would be the apple of your eye. You see. Well, that's the way Israel is to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We are the apple of his eye. He has a love, but right now he's only concerned with 1/3. Because 2/3 of our people are wicked and won't turn from their madness, okay? So this is, let me get a preset real quick. Zechariah, through the Spirit, Zechariah 2 and 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory he hath sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. See, so the nations spoiled us, which meaning a spoil is something you get after, like when two nations go into war. What happens is whoever wins the war or the battle, well, now they get to take all the spoils from the other nation, meaning all the resources, whether it's resources, whether it's property, whether it's land, that would be a spoil. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is telling us right now that these other nations, these heathen, all these heathen nations, starting out with Esau, Edom, we've been spoiled by them. They've taken all of this used to be the Gadites' land, the so-called Native American. But who has the land now? The so-called white man has it. That's an example of us being spoiled. They've taken our nation as a spoil. And it says, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So you don't think the heathen's going to get repaid for what they've done to us? No, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai says, you touching the apple of my eye. You know? If your woman is the apple of your eye and somebody touches her, well, you're going to have vengeance on that person. That's what Yahweh, he compares us to a comely and delicate woman. Let's go to it. Zechariah 5 and 2. Oh, wait, Salakia. Slipping my mind. What is that verse? Let me see. Zechariah 6 and 2? No? Is it Zephaniah maybe? Let me see. No. Dang. I'm gonna have to look it up. Salakia, I'm looking for a verse. Let's see. Zion. A comely and delicate woman. And that's the spiritual demons. Okay, Jeremiah. Okay, I don't know why I'm saying Zechariah. Jeremiah 6 and 2. Salakia. Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion, which is Israel, to a comely and delicate woman. All right? Now let's look up that word comely. And it says, pleasant to look at, attractive, typically used of a woman. See, so that's how we're looked at. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai looks at us like a beautiful woman that he's attracted to, he desires. You see, that's why in the New Testament it's referred to as the marriage, because Yahweh Shai is the husbandman, and the elect are the bride. And when Yahweh Shai comes back to pick up the elect, that's the marriage. See, that's the supper. But that's what it is, man. Israel is likened unto a comely and delicate woman. And delicate, I mean, delicate woman. A delicate woman is a beautiful thing in the sight of the Lord, you see. And his nation, we are delicate. Did he not call Jacob thy worm? He said, oh, Jacob thy worm. Why? Because he said he's insignificant and delicate. A worm is delicate, Anything can kill a worm, A cat can kill a worm. A little kid can kill a worm. Let me get that real quick. Jacob, thy worm. That's Isaiah 41 and 14. And why are we a worm? We're a worm because we have no power over the Edomite. The Edomite, literally, he's ruling over us. We're not ruling over him. So we're a worm. We're insignificant. We can't do nothing. We can't go to war with the Edomite. His president Joe Biden just told you last week that he told you that you need jets and nuclear missiles to fight them. He said that in his press conference. So it says, "Fear," Isaiah 41:14. "Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel." Going back into, we don't need to worry. We don't need to be worrying about taking that microchip to eat. Let me read it again. "Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel." See? So he's going to help his men. We ain't got to worry about nothing. Let me go to, and through the faith, when we're at the camps, and a chariot rolls up on us, you don't think that builds our faith? You don't think we feel like Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is dealing with us? You know? You're not going to see that happening at any of these modern Christian churches. Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes. Chariots don't roll up. If a chariot rolled up at T.D. Jakes or Joel Osteen, that would be national news, That would be all over the news. So we ain't got to fear nothing, brothers. We got Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai working on our side. All right? Let me keep reading. I'm almost done here. This is going to be Deuteronomy 32 and verse 10. And again, we're the apple of his eye. It's like that beautiful woman that's the apple of your eye. That's how the Lord looks at you. If you're part of this truth. He's not looking at these other nations like that, man. Verse 11. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So Yahweh alone did lead him, and there was no strange God, there was no strange power with him. See, because Jacob, back in, when our people in the right mindset, we didn't have strange powers. We didn't have strange gods. There was no Jesus Christ. There was no, we weren't following all of these things that our people are following now. And it says right here, so Yahweh alone did lead them, you see. And he compared it to an eagle stirring up her nest, fluttering over her young, spreading abroad her wings, taking them, bearing them on her wings. Go watch how an eagle takes care of their little birds. That's how it's Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai takes care of us. Just go pull up a video of an eagle taking care of her eggs, man, of her birds, of her chicklets, whatever they call them, baby eagles. But anyway, this is Deuteronomy 32 and 13. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat and the increase of the fields. He made him to suck honey out of the rock and oil out of the flinty rock. And that oil goes into wisdom, Let me see if there's... Let's see. Okay, verse 16. I'm going to jump down to verse 16. It says, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. So you see, right now, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is pissed off at that. It's like when there's a removed wife. When your wife is removed from the household, you're going to be pissed off, right? That's the same way. Did I not read that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai looks at us like a comely and delicate woman? And it says we've provoked him to anger. So he's pissed off. He's a jealous God. We know that. We just read it right here. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. See, so you're being a spiritual whore if you follow Jesus Christ or any of these other idols that are set up by these heathen nations, Let's see, verse 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Yahweh. All right, so when you go to a Catholic church, you're literally making a sacrifice to a devil. When you're going to an Easter ceremony, you're sacrificing unto devils. You paint eggs for your kids, you're sacrificing to devils, not to God, Yahweh. All right, let me read it again. Verse 17. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. See, our fathers never feared Jesus Christ. That was never their power. So basically, it says right here they were sacrificing to gods that came newly up, meaning they're new gods. Jesus Christ barely came about in the 1400s, all right? Which that was only how long ago? 500 years ago, right? Or 600 years ago. But Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai was from the beginning. That white image of Jesus Christ, It's called Renaissance art. It came about in the Renaissance, which were in the 1400s. Christopher Columbus, he got here on 1492. That was a new god. That's what we're reading about. Gods that came newly up. So, with that, I'm over here at the plantation, so I gotta get off this lesson. But through the Spirit and power, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I also want to acknowledge all the Akyam for pushing this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the elect.